All right, Nick, go ahead. Sherry's waiting for your song. She just got back from her daughter's wedding. She has champagne. She's really excited about this.
Crack it open.
Let's go with the song, Nick.
Sherry's daughter's got married?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Congratulations, Sherry.
Da, da, da. That's the song. Yeah.
Oh, that's a song. He doesn't have a song for you, Sherry.
Yeah. I had one last week. Yeah.
So it's a 1 per week kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
It hasn't actually been a full calendar week since you guys recorded. So
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's true.
Within the window.
Well, the reason I moved
contractually obligated.
The reason I went from Tuesday to Monday, I said, "Oh wait, the Padres play tomorrow at 8:00." I said, "There's no way I'm going to be able to concentrate on the game." Turns out we have Zach today, and we have to take Zach to his game. Guess what time the game's at?
During the middle of the football game.
7:30.
Oh.
7:30. So lucky us, we get to go. I see that it's not even T-ball, but I'm excited. Well,
he's older than T-ball now, and so was it like pitch?
It's coach's pitch.
AAA.
That's like when people plan their weddings on like significant sporting events. Like I remember I went to a wedding. I can't remember who it was, but it was like during the ALCS one year. I was like, I'm not going to be paying attention to your wedding, and I'm going to be at the bar. Just watching. Sorry.
Christopher, the Phillies play tomorrow. They do play tomorrow.
I'll tell you though, that game the other night was one of the best games of baseball I think I've ever seen.
Which one? The
Padres
last
game.
one?
Yeah,
I know, but
it was fucking awesome.
Well, I it's funny. Jay and I were going back and forth, going, okay, all right, who do we go with? Darvish tomorrow, 4 days rest, because it was 3-0 Padres. I mean 3-0 Dodgers. I didn't think Padres weren't hitting.
Yeah,
and I said, so we were already planning. Okay, what are we gonna do tomorrow? It's gonna have to be a bullpen game. You know, we're going against their best pitcher. Blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 5 runs. I go, holy shit!
Yeah. So my buddy was at the game, and he was saying like how it was probably one of the best baseball games he's actually been present for, like at the stadium, and he's had some pretty good games. Like I was with him when Trotnick hit the walk-off home run in the ALDS for back in 2003.
And then you punched the old guy.
No, different. That was
okay. I can't keep track.
Yeah, that was Patriots. That didn't happen.
That was fun. I knew that. Yeah.
Was he at the Game 3 Yankees Red Sox? Was he there with you for the Yankees Red Sox Game 3?
The 19-8 like bashing that I had to watch. No, he wasn't there for that.
Okay.
But he was there. Where the hell was he? He
only picks the good games to go to.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Is that the one that lives in San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He actually used to work for the Padres too.
Okay.
So it was one of the best games he's ever been present for. And he and I have seen a lot of really great baseball games too, because we went to school together outside of Boston. Went to a lot of Red Sox games.
Well, as a Padre fan, I've seen a lot of bad Padre games.
Yeah.
But the best one I ever saw was the Garvey home run against the Cubs in '84. Nothing will top that game. Nothing.
And it's been
for a second, Nick's square just went all blurry. It was like last known photograph, like of him in the woods, like just all blur. So it was good.
Yeah, that was because people were saying that's the greatest hit in Padre history, where Cronenworth got that base hit. I go, yeah, it was a great hit, but it's not the greatest one in Padre history. It's just not. I mean, I'm happy we beat the Dodgers. Don't get me wrong. Fucking Dodgers and their fans. But anyway, that's all I got. I'm out.
You know, they sucked. The Dodgers sucked the 5 years I lived in California. So, and then they got good when I left. So I wonder,
I've been telling Dodger fans for the longest time that Dave Roberts is not a great manager. He's okay. He's a good manager with great talent, but I don't know why he insists on taking his starters out after 5 innings, because their bullpen was just toast. And you had Anderson going. He owned the Padres couldn't get it. If they did hit the ball, it was a weak hit, and he takes him out after the 5th. I'm like going, he had 2 more innings in him easily. And I said, well, thank you, Dave Roberts. Thank you. You suck. Even though you're from San Diego, you suck.
I'm glad they sucked when I lived there, though, because I could afford the tickets.
He will drink for free for the rest of his life in Boston.
Yeah, that's fine.
If people know who he is.
And George Wendt.
Yeah.
And George who?
George Wendt.
George Wendt.
Bill
Put on my tab, Sammy. Put on my tab.
No,
Bill Buckner.
Well, Bill Buckner. Yeah, he's.
well, Bill's dead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was kind of a dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't handle the infamy well.
What did you say? I missed it. It cut out there for a second. What happened?
Bill Buckner. Who was
I mean, I remember the play that he fucked up, but you had said something there and it went wrong.
He's kind of a dick. Like he was.
He's a dick. Oh, he is.
Yeah, he was not. He was. It's fairly well known that he wasn't a nice dude.
That.
Well, to be fair, he fans hated him for the longest time, and he was a damn good player. And to be fair, it was John McNamara's fault. He shouldn't have been in the game.
It also wasn't the end of the game,
right?
No, it wasn't.
It's a lot of people forget. There's another inning that went on after that.
Yeah.
It's like. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I just was going to say, like, it's been about 10 years, but I thought there was a 30 for 30, or maybe it was just a whole other program about scapegoats. And it covered Bill Buckner and also the other kid at the
Cubs. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, Bartman.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's forgivable for me because he was a kid. I think he was like 16 or 17. You know,
Bartman?
Bartman was old.
No,
was he old? I thought he was a kid.
No, he was adult.
He had Benjamin Button's disease, man.
Yeah, I just remember him being skinny and lanky, and not the.
He was in his 30s.
I thought he was way younger than that. Yeah, so he deserved it then. All
He
right.
got a ring,
He did.
But I thought it was bullshit. Right when we saw it was my wife Jay and I were all watching the game. I said, "Oh, that guy's toast." They go, "Why?" I go, "He's got in the way," and the Cubs are looking for any excuse to lose. And I go, and then they start losing. I go, "That poor guy is toast."
Yeah.
And we went when the local newspaper gives away your address.
Yeah.
And prints your address.
They did that to him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I wasn't. I didn't.
I don't know. I can't remember if it was a radio show or the news. Some news firm posted his address, and they had to have round-the-clock security at his house. And this guy was like the biggest Cub fan in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Huh. So anyway, the funny thing is the guy next to him, if he touches the ball, he's toast. But he messed the ball.
I mean, can you imagine how many more rings Tom Brady would have if Giselle wasn't married to him? I mean, just we've seen what the turmoil has done to Brady.
That's probably the reason why he lost to the Giants. I mean, because who loses to the Giants?
Well, it's Steelers. It was the Steelers. Well, we were talking about this the other day. He should have retired. I mean, he's just he's he's not going to the games, stuff like that. He's.
I think so. I think we should get help.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris? What do you think? I think it's okay.
Chris would only take this if this was something serious. I'm worried that it's going to be something family related, and then we're all going to look like we have egg on our face.
It's not the first time that's happened, but I think Tom, because he's going, he's not, he's skipping practices and stuff like that. I just think
he zoned out for a moment. He was calling a drug dealer or something. He was like, "Oh,
dude, I'm out.
I'm out of edibles. I'm out of edibles.
I'm doing the show and I'm out, man. This is on you.
What show?
Doctor says I need a backyacomy.
Specchiotomy. Thank you very much. No, so I was calling my daughter on her Amazon Dot or Alexa thing she has in her bedroom because I need to let her coach know what size practice penny she needs to wear for her field hockey team.
Chris Doran says, true story, Buckner was wearing his old Cubs batting glove under his first baseman's glove that night. A double curse, if you will.
Speaking of curses.
Well, now that is, I blame Bill Buckner now.
Yeah. Speaking of curses, I sent it to Jack. I didn't send it to you two guys, but apparently it's not. Sorry, Chris. It's not good if the Phillies win because every time the Phillies win, there's an economic crash. So Yeah, we don't need to root for the Phillies.
It's up to the Padres to save the world. So
I mean, I'm all in with the Padres, bud. Padres and whoever beats the Yankees.
Well, they're supposed to play tonight. It's still a rain delay. Are they? Did they start?
Oh, let's find out.
What is the TikTok that you sent us, Chris? I'm just curious. Like,
nah, you should just watch them if you have a chance. It's fucking funny as hell.
So you sent us one now?
Like a little while ago.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I know I sent it to Jack. Did I send it to you two guys about the Bill Burr talking about Super Bowl parties?
Oh yeah, you said that too.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so me too. It's like, yes, that's why I don't go, because I don't want to watch the fucking game. You know?
Honestly, that's how I always was with watching sports games. Where people are like, let's go to the bar and watch a Pats game, or let's go to the bar and watch a Red Sox playoff game. It's like, no, fuck no. Like I want nothing to do with being at a bar in which I have to pay extra for drinks. That I'm gonna get my own, and I don't have to talk to some asshole because I'm trying to watch the fucking game. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I absolutely hate going to the bar to watch a game.
Especially if it's a big game.
Yeah.
I definitely lost friends over yelling at them in a stadium for talking to me during a game. Like, there's nothing wrong with talk. Like, like, hey, Chris, do you want a hot dog? Like, yeah, cool. Like, 1-2 word answer.
Well, I'll take what are things that Cliff would ever say for $500, Alex?
right. Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely yelled at people for like breaking concentration while I'm just in the zone watching the game. I'm sure everyone has.
I think the only time that I
didn't punch an old man, but
went to a bar to watch a game I think it was like a World Cup game, and like we didn't have satellite or we didn't have that channel or something, and we were just going to that BW3s, and they actually had it on, and that was actually kind of fun though, because there was other people watching soccer there while we watched the game, so that was actually kind of enjoyable.
I did see the final game of the Stanley Cup series when Bruins won at a bar. But that was awesome because like when you're in like, going into Boston and being in the town, every fucking person was glued to the TV set, right? So like that was a lot of fun. It was actually a really good vibe, a good like experience to be out there. And that was when I first started growing my beard out really big, and people used to call me Tim Thomas all the time. And that was before he went off the fucking deep end. And
he was a goalie, right?
Goalie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can remember being in Vegas the year the Chargers went to the only Super Bowl they've ever went to, and I was in the bar area, and I'm the only Charger fan around all Dolphin fans, and they're like going, "You're gonna lose because nobody wants it more than Dan Marino. Nobody wants to go to the Super Bowl more than Dan Marino." I'm like, okay. After the Super Bowl, after the Chargers won, I said, I guess he didn't want to go to the Super Bowl so bad after all, did he? Then ran like hell.
I think that's just bad form. Like when if you're the only guy at the bar rooting for that team, then like those people should just be buying you drinks all night, because it's like you're gonna catch so much shit for being the only guy.
Well, the people I went with, because the Chargers weren't playing well, they said, fuck, it's another Charger, typical playoff game. They left and went and gambled. I stayed there. In fact, where I was sitting was just a little bit outside the bar. It was on it was like an 8-seat type roulette reel. Someone goes, "Can I sit there? I want to gamble." I go, "No." At that point, the Chargers were coming back. He goes, "But you're not gambling." I go, "Yeah, and I'm not moving either. There's 7 more seats. You can have any one of those seats. You're not taking this seat."
Right.
So, take that. I'm from Erie, PA.
That like reminds me of that. It has to be just like a YouTube or some kind of clip, where it shows like a parent, like a mom and a daughter bought the aisle in the middle seat on the airplane, and this guy had a seat by the window, and the mom's like, "Hey, can we switch seats to you? My daughter wants to really sit next to the window." And he's like, "Well, this is a good reason for you to teach your daughter about not getting everything you always want in life." It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that happened. Fucking awesome. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I told him the show that happened the last time Cindy and I flew when we come back from California.
Yeah,
in both spots, the people had the window seat, and they wanted us to sit in the middle. I go, no, and the one lady kept, "Is that your wife?" I go, "Yes," and I go, "I'm not moving. We're sitting across from each other, you dumbasses."
Yeah, there's a whole generation of people who are bred to get what they want when they want it without working for it.
Well, you would
It
probably
sucks.
deal with that on a day-to-day basis with
I mean,
customer service.
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So
But I mean, it's like now. I mean, because I fly all the time now for work, and it's one of those things where all the airlines are doing it now. It's like the if you buy just a standard ticket now, it's no luggage, and you get middle. That's all you get. You can't. You have to pay extra now for everything, unless you're in the back part of the plane. But
Yeah.
everything, aisle or window now, is like $20 to $40 extra, and you're like,
Yeah, it is. I'm actually looking to book a flight to Chicago for next summer. And it's the same thing. It's like window seats are more. I actually preferred having the aisle seat myself because I like the man spread.
Yes, yeah.
I want the aisle.
I get that. I mean,
100%.
anyone that's over basically 5'8", it's hell to sit in the
because
middle
the seats are getting smaller and smaller, and I'm not a big guy, but it's still. I mean, you.
Also, just even that aspect, once you can stand up, it's just like I can fully stand up. If I'm at the window.
Yeah, you're hunched.
Like I'm just, I might as well just sit
over.
here, and I'll just sit there and wait until it's time for me to actually get up. Because,
I think the last time I got stuck at a window seat because they delayed, and so I had to go take the next. So I got stuck at a window seat, and the two people sitting out in the middle and the aisle fell asleep, and I had to. I had to pee. I'm like going, oh my god, I gotta pee.
You see,
so I'm doing everything I can to distract myself. I'm dancing.
I do this every time I'm on a plane just because I know what it's like to fly by yourself, and you don't want to be. Yeah, how'd you know?
Excuse me, flight attendant. This guy's pleasuring himself.
I just have to clear all the fluids before the plane takes off. That's an addition I have.
The vast majority of the time, though, I sit on the aisle. The majority of the time I sit on the aisle, but I usually look at the other two people before we take off. Say,
while you do it.
Yeah, I was like, hey guys, I'm just gonna,
oh, you're hot.
While we're lifting off, I'm lifting off. Just like,
I'm sorry, I took this in a different direction. Go ahead. What is it that you actually do?
I'll
take Sudafed. That's
like, hey guys, at any point, if I take a nap, do not be afraid to wake me up. If you need to get out, you let me know. And then I always tell the middle person too, like, hey, this armrest is yours. Because like to me, if you're in the middle, you have no leg room. You're just like this. So I think the armrest belong to the middle person.
Yeah, I'm that way because I lean this way.
If you can't wake me up, just put your finger right up there. Okay, my butthole is your butthole.
My pants are gonna be off anyway.
It's just how it's gonna happen. So
the flight attendant button is out, but mine's on.
No, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on here, but there was I flew a lot when I was younger, and there was one time when I woke up and I was puking as I woke up, and I can just only.
So you're fun to sit next to.
They only happened one time in my entire time of flying.
I've never seen somebody throw up on a plane.
I would think that would just be a chain reaction, like for some people who have gag reflexes and smell reflexes.
But it's like where the barf bag started.
It was it was so weird because I was sleeping and I woke up and it was like,
Yikes.
and then
did you grab the bag?
There was no time. It was like wake up, throw up.
Oh, nice.
And so I immediately got up.
Thanks for sticking at the plane, asshole. Like that must have smelled so bad.
Well, and imagine the person next to me who's just like, oh, I'm just flying with this 13-year-old kid. I'm sure he's not. What the fuck?
You just got a cup of puke.
Oh, you were 13.
Yeah, I was 13.
Okay,
you were a
right.
kid. Well, I mean,
I was a kid.
You're an a-hole for
I
sticking
was
at
a
the
kid.
plane, but it's a different story.
No. So after my parents divorced, my mom lived in Washington and my dad lived in Indiana. And so I flew back and forth every Easter, every summer, every Christmas. So I was at least flying 3 times a year. So you get pretty used to it. And it was a lot of fun. I would be terrified to send my kids through the airport nowadays. But yet my parents were just as terrified as I would be today. So... at least nowadays you have cell phones and you can keep constant track with your child.
But you hear horror stories all the time where the flight attendants forget they have someone on they're supposed to watch. And the kid gets off
Right.
the plane. They're like going,
shit.
we lost him. Oops.
They had like a whole area that they would kind of like take, like, oh, here, this is where we're gonna take you, like, and lock you in this cage. No, it was kind of like just a little waiting bar just for the kids. They're all having Shirley cocktails and joining the mile 50 club.
Attaboy.
I don't know.
John says, remind me never to get on a flight with any of you sick motherfuckers. And Randy, I once used barf bags, every barf bag within 3 rows of me after eating water buffalo in the streets of Kathmandu.
That's,
What?
I guess, pretty bar.
Kathmandu.
It's oddly specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
What
Water
could go
buffalo.
wrong there?
Yeah.
I think the bison.
Does-
I've had bison burgers, but is water buffalo just a little bit more?
Does it taste like chicken?
It's just watered down chicken.
Yeah.
It's in the
I
name.
know there's an episode of MASH where he gets water buffalo. It's steak.
I've heard of people getting water buffaloed. So
Just think of Robin Williams.
Yeah. So
Drop some napalm in there and try to knock them down.
So speaking
Water
of
buffalo.
travel, my 2023 concert destination travel trip for next year is going to be to go see Dead and Company. They're on their final tour of Dead and Company. So
Is it their final tour, or is it the final tour till the next final tour?
It's not like
No,
the
they're-
Eagles.
they're-
They
they're
keep
done.
going away. Not like
they're done.
No, they're done.
Um,
I mean, they're
yeah,
all 80 years old.
yeah.
Well, they're not all part of the band anymore, too. So you got Bob Weir, and you got what's his name, Billy Kreutzmann on drums, and Mickey.
Bill Esch.
What's
Mickey
his name? Mickey, the fucking creepy looking dude.
Yeah.
And you got John Mayer on guitar, and then O'Teal Bainbridge, I think, is the bassist, who's fucking amazing. But anyways, their final tours next year. So we decided we're gonna meet in the middle this time with our friends from California. We're gonna meet up in Chicago for 2 nights at Wrigley Field.
That's not.
Oh, is it Wrigley
That's
Field?
what I was gonna say. That's what I was
I was thinking like Kansas City or Dallas
Well,
or somewhere.
so-
but
so
now
here-
you're-
Here's the funny
We're
part.
gonna meet in the middle.
So we were talking about it.
Over
and, like,
here.
we're like, where should we go? Like, what's logistically the best place to go on a tour?
Especially
And-
like East Coast and West Coast. There's like, well, there's just Illinois.
Yeah,
There's nothing else.
And one of the options was we were going to go see. We're going to see them play at where the fuck was it? Hang on, Noblesville, Indiana.
Oh, that's a good place.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
saw fish play there.
we almost pulled the trigger on Noblesville, Indiana, just because we're like, I mean, no offense to you, Matt. Like, why would we go to Indiana to go see a concert?
It's a good venue.
I mean,
it's cool.
pretty-
But what else are you gonna do?
Where's that at?
You got the sand
Exactly.
dunes.
Nobody
No,
knows.
because I've never heard of it.
No,
So
it's-
is it like
it's- it's on
You
Indianapolis?
can go
It's-
sledding.
It's on the
Oh, good.
northern part of Indianapolis, and I assume that's where we used to call it Deer Creek, and then it changed
Yeah, Deer
names.
Creek.
It's
multiple
the Ruoff
times.
Music Center.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, because the Grateful Dead played there actually. Like,
Yeah,
it
these
was
are all
one
they're
of
going to
the-
their old stomping grounds.
yeah,
So
and that was
the venues are pretty awesome, actually. So the venues this for this tour are they're starting the Forum, obviously in LA. There's playing Atlanta, they're playing down in Dallas. They're actually playing in Raleigh,
Mhm. Boulder.
Boulder,
That's-
Colorado, Saratoga
that's
Springs,
it.
New York.
That's center of the United States, Raleigh.
And if I remember correctly, I think it's in Deer Creek where they actually there was a fence that the fans that were outside actually broke down and then started
Wow.
spilling in. Yeah, no, there was this happened, and I want to say before Jerry died. So it was
This is in
So-
Indiana.
yeah, well, yeah, it's in Indiana. It's between, so think of Fort Wayne and, well, you don't know where those places are, but
I know, I've heard
Indianapolis
of Fort
is a
Wayne.
dot. Okay, well, Indianapolis is a dot in the middle, and then Fort Wayne is just about 90 minutes north of that. So, and Noblesville is.
I didn't say I knew where it was. I just said I
Okay.
said I've heard of it.
All right.
The Beach Boys play Indiana all the time in this little town in northern Indiana.
Really?
It's called
Yeah.
Kokomo.
I knew where that was going.
So yeah, we're gonna go 2 nights at Wrigley, and then I'm gonna see him in a couple weeks after that. I'm gonna see him for the
So
third.
you're watching 2 shows in Wrigley?
Yeah, Friday and a Saturday night in Wrigley, and then a couple weeks later, we're gonna see him one night at Fenway Park.
Nice.
Yeah,
Two of the oldest ballparks in baseball.
Yeah, I've been to both of them, so it's unfortunately nothing new to me. But baseball stadium concerts kind of fucking suck in the sense from like an acoustic perspective, unless you're on the field. But
well, I mean, it's just like like they're playing. I wouldn't go see them in LA if you paid me because like the Forum is shit. The acoustics in that place is shit.
Yeah, but they're finishing off the entire tour.
Is the Forum still there?
Very, very, very apropos at the in San Fran. We wanted to pull that off, but I was like, you know what? Like that'd be fucking wild and cool, but like I'm gonna reserve that to like the people who like have been following the Grateful Dead for 50 years. I don't want to take that away from the locals.
Oh, you know, there's going to be that person there that's just like, what are we saying tonight?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a bootleg. I only listened to it one time of a Frank Zappa show where you hear somebody lean in towards the mic and go like, do you think they'll play any Three-Eyed? Oh, wait, no. Shit. Three Dog Night. Yeah, like, do you think they'll play any Three Dog Night? Like at a Frank Zappa show? Are you fucking serious? Like, but it just there's always somebody like that has no idea what they're going to see.
Sure. Right.
Always that loser.
I mean, sometimes those shows are good. Like if the person's like, "You're gonna come with me. You're gonna like this band," like because they know your taste well enough. But yes, don't take me to the Kenny G concert. And not tell me.
Is he still alive? Is he still alive?
KG? Yeah, he's slapping the flute, man. He's a really clarinet.
He's gearing up for Christmas time.
Is it a crystal clarinet?
You know what? Speaking of slapping that flute, my friend, you know what time it is?
It's time for commercial break.
Okay.
The crystal flute seems to be like it could be like a drug euphemism or just a euphemism.
Or Lizzo. A Lizzo euphemism. Lizzo euphemisms might be the episode title, actually. Lizzo euphemisms. Spell it.
I like it.
Can you spell that?
Nope.
Just make it up. Nobody cares.
Yeah, speaking of sports real quick, I know Jack saw it, but he didn't watch it. But like, did you guys see I know you guys.
I saw the field goal.
Oh, okay. If you want to go
back,
what
are you doing after the game?
If you want to, and that's just if you want to watch a really kick-ass college football game, watch the Alabama-Tennessee game from this past Saturday.
I like how they took the goalposts once they tore them downtown.
That's the dumbest thing because like in '98 when that happened, they carried them down the actual strip, the street, and then they were cut up, and like most of the bars had sections, and like they wrote the score on it. It was like a memory, like this is when we beat Florida in '98. It was awesome. But now like they tore down the goalposts and just threw them in their fucking river, which they're gonna have to get back out. So it's like
just dumb.
Just dumb.
Yeah. I'm guessing they were drunk.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but there's this element of just like we don't give a fuck. They're kind of just. It's like there's no respect. There's no respect.
It's a different era.
There's another photo though that just really sums it up. Though it's like someone wrote, "Tore a section of the zone," and then there's a picture next to it of the woman actually ripping up part of the fucking grass out of the end zone. You're like, who would do that? It's a piece of sod. Who the fuck cares?
Because it's sod from. I did that when I first went to Washington.
She's a gardener. This is her thing.
I reached through the
plant this at home.
I reached through the fence of the White House and pulled out grass and saved it. Back.
So grass. I took Ralph on a tour of Fenway Park, and I picked up some dirt from the infield and rubbed it all over my shirt.
That's different.
I thought you said rubbed it all over your chest. Here, Ralph.
It was my chest.
He beat off to it later.
It was my Trot Nixon white Red Sox jersey that for like the entire season just had stains of clay. It was awesome.
Nice.
Before we steer too far away from sports, I know Chris and I finished watching Welcome to Wrexham.
Yes.
Oh.
I gotta watch that.
I don't think any of the other two have caught that yet, but we both really enjoyed it. And so if there's any other listeners out there that enjoy, even if you're not like a diehard soccer person.
What's interesting about that show is I think that it was produced and directed pretty much by McElhenney, wasn't it?
Was it? I
I
thought
think
there
it
was
might have
somebody
been.
else in.
Maybe I could be wrong.
I'm looking up on IMDb right
So,
now.
but what's interesting is I think that the style in which they presented the documentary throughout the entire season, you could totally tell that they didn't know what they really were planning on doing
Yeah.
as they were filming it, because it definitely took just like different approaches almost in every episode, and then they found a groove and they found like a couple of themes that they stuck with. But it was just really emblematic of like the fact that they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They bought a goddamn soccer team, like, you know what I mean? In the documentary, I had no idea what it was doing.
And this is on Hulu, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm writing it down. It's what's it called? Hexham.
Welcome to
Wrexham.
Wrexham.
WREXHAM. Okay.
And there are 18 episodes. Don't know if they'll ever make another season.
No,
they're like a half hour long.
They said they're going to be season 2.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I think it's all but confirmed. I think McElhenney was talking about it on some outlet.
So it's directed by Brian Rowland. Is his name. But Chris does make a point though about like how each episode and I don't know if he's the director throughout all of those 18 episodes, but that's who's listed as the main director. But each episode does have a different flavor, and I think that by the time you do get to the last episode and some of the editorial choices that they made is really cool because it brings it all together in a way that's you're like, you've been with this team. And you know, if you liked Ted Lasso, this is like the real Ted Lasso in that respect, where you feel kind of more like this is.
Wait, you're saying Ted Lasso? You just ruined it for me. It's not real Ted Lasso.
No, I just mean that like you can't write this like what happens. It's just real life, and you could ruin it by looking up.
Do they follow the players
games? But I did not.
Follow players on and off the field.
Yes.
The thing that's great about it is they follow the players on and off the field. They follow the people of the town on and off the field, like the residents of Wrexham and the local, you know, in the diehard fan base.
He's a wanker.
Pretty much.
It's really interesting because their number one like goal was obviously to get promoted out of the current league, but the surrounding goal was to make sure that everything they did was for the community surrounding the team, because you'll realize what the prior ownerships had done to like the community and how they fucked everything over for everybody. You find that out pretty quickly within the series and how they cover that.
It always starts at the top.
Yeah, and the whole show is about how Rob McElhenney and what's his name, Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, really kind of kept that as their main focus, is to make sure that the town and the people surrounding it, the community surrounding the team was a part of it as much as any player was. So
I mean, that's always the key to any sports, and it's just like a.
But they had to win over. They had to win them over too, for sure. So
because they were outsiders.
Yeah. And it takes place over 2 years of COVID, so you really get to see the team grow over that 2 years, which is cool. So I highly recommend it.
I will, because I started Quantum Leap.
Oh yeah,
the new one, and I finished all 4 episodes. I like it. It's only problem is how many episodes are there going to be?
Right,
18.
Sure.
18.
18. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's not too bad. I was thinking the whole time. I go, this would be better on a like a Hulu or Netflix or HBO, because they couldn't drag it. But it's only 18. That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few things that I'm like casting wise that I might be a little critical of. Like sometimes I'm kind of like, you don't have to drop like the 80s hit in every episode. It seems like every episode it's like, oh, we got to dive into the bag of like $50,000 songs to drop, and this like
I know what episode you're talking about.
Budget.
I know what episode you're talking about. I go, those are all good songs.
They are good songs. Don't get me
wrong.
That
was the boxing one, right?
But well,
right?
even in the first one, they had some David Bowie songs and stuff like that, and I like Bowie, but I was just kind of like,
trying too hard.
Probably, yeah, exactly. I'm like, you could have like held back a little bit on that. I felt like they were trying to gloss it up by throwing those songs
You know,
in. It's
you know
like
what the show
you could have spent more on your actors, I think.
Yeah, they
or
have
writers.
some of the actors are kind of
Yeah.
You know,
It's just a step right there with La Brea.
Not everyone can be Charlton Heston.
Dude,
nothing's as bad as La Brea.
La Brea is getting so many of like those commercials of like the quick 15-second spots on streaming channels, like 9 out of 10 stars. Rolling Stone calls La Brea the must-see TV of the season.
There's a mammoth.
La Brea. And I see him fighting fucking digital wolves. I was like, Jesus Christ! I can't wait to not watch this show ever.
And we complained about the shark and Lost, right?
It'll probably happen for Manifest too, because Netflix bought it just
That's
the last season.
Manifest is its own thing.
Like I said, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I watched La Brea last week, and I'm like going, oh my God, some of these, it's just like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on, what are we doing here? But I was going to say, Quantum Leap reminds me a lot of Cold Case. I don't know if you guys remember Cold Case. Where they go back, and they always played really good music.
Mm-hmm.
So you would know what decade.
Yeah.
Sometimes the decades went back like 20 years. Sometimes it went back 50 years.
And maybe they're trying to turn it into like some type of a procedural with that in mind, or that they could, I don't know, cater to an older audience and a younger audience at the same time. I like, that they have Ernie Hudson in it. So far he's the anchor that's kind of holding it. Did
you on the fourth episode? Have you saw the fourth episode?
Yep.
Okay, now spoiler for you guys that haven't seen it. It's not big. It's not a big spoiler. No. But was when he was talking about him having someone flash into him, was that an episode actually on the original Quantum Leap? Not that he was in it, but that episode.
Right.
Okay.
And I was trying not to spoil you in the text when you were like blah blah blah, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything. So
yeah, because I said, oh, that must have been what he was trying to. I go,
yeah,
that was probably.
But I knew that, and I knew that moment too, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I like so, and this isn't spoilers for this show, but for the original Quantum Leap, at some point in this fifth season was it? Fifth or fourth season? I can't remember how many seasons Quantum Leap went, but
I think it was 5.
In that last season, they introduced the Evil Leaper, and that was like a whole trilogy, and that was a cool kind of storyline. So, Quantum Leap's a show that if you do go back and rewatch,
which I'm going to do.
It is cool to rewatch in order. But you could pick and choose and just say, oh, I'm just going to watch the Lee Harvey Oswald one or something.
Actually, it won't be a rewatch because I'm only seeing like a handful of episodes. So it'd be more like a watch.
Right.
I always liked it because it brought heart, and it was a show that in my youth I could just turn on. In fact, I remember the moment I watched the pilot was my dad, my mom, and my stepdad had just left on their honeymoon. So they had just gotten married. They left on their honeymoon. Quantum Leap appeared.
So they leaped to their honeymoon.
They leaped to Hawaii without me. And meanwhile, I'm like, oh, this new show is just coming out. It's about a time traveler. This sounds cool. Watched it, and I was hooked. So.
Well, my biggest complaint is sometimes they go too hard for the jokes, and the jokes don't pan out. It's like, okay, come on, I'm not 10, but maybe that's their demographic. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep watching it, but it does make me want to watch it. But Sherry asks,
"No,
I should tie so many ties."
The question's the first one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So Sherry asks, I realize that most men do not need to wear ties. Do you guys know how to tie a tie?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't worn. I wear one once every 6 months at this point for like weddings.
Someone gets married. I think about it.
Funerals.
Yeah,
weddings.
I didn't know about that.
I take like
that happens.
I used to have to wear one when I worked at the rink, not the one here.
I was in a frat. I was never a frat guy, but like even when you join a frat, often they give you a book of like things of manners and how to like etiquette. So I get inside.
How to wipe your ass.
There's a picture of how to tie a fucking tie.
How to spike the drink properly.
How to breastfeed a baby.
How did you know?
How to have sex with an
I-
unconscious woman and behind a
Oh,
dumpster?
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, it's too soon.
Well, it's probably in the book.
Yeah, but
It's in the book. Sorry, I just shit on
How to get the right judge where you won't have to spend a lot of time in jail.
Hey,
For a hideous crime, you only spend a few months in jail.
hey, money can't buy that.
I used to have to wear a suit to work every day for like 6 years, and it was awful. So it's kind of one of those ingrained in how to tie a tie.
Yeah, I did it for 2, and then even when I lived in LA, I had to wear business casual, so khakis and a nice shirt every day, and even that got old. And then now with this job, I don't have to wear. I can wear shorts and a t-shirt every day. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Same with my job.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
and I have another one on the way.
One thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
So last week, I had mentioned it. Chris had already seen it though. There's a Netflix documentary. Matt, you might like it too, called High Score. And it takes you very quickly through like a history of video games. And the last episode,
I've seen it on there, but I haven't watched
it's
it.
pretty good. The last episode though dealt with the leap from the consoles into the computer era. And
the quantum leap.
Yeah, the quantum leap. Yeah, and it
Like
made me nostalgic a little bit. So I looked up on the. So it got me a little nostalgic, and it got me to look up on the PlayStation Network if I could buy some of these old games. So for like the last 2 days, I've been playing Doom, which I have not played in 27 years. But it's amazing how your memory comes back to you. But like I remember where a lot of the secrets were.
Eventually, it won't.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you play them so many times as a kid, Jack. It's kind of like in there.
Muscle memory.
I know, but it just eventually you could go.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
But I forgot. And some stuff was really cool too. Like, at the end of like the first episode, when you get the 2 barons of hell come out of the towers, I'm like, fuck yeah!
By the way, that brings up an interesting point, though. Our generation will be a generation to study about video games and stuff like that, like in memory.
And the side effects and the
side effects, all of the things. All of the things. But even just that, what you're talking about, like that, like there are games that I played when I was a kid that, I could go back and I can play some Stampede. Like, let's go. Put me in a room with some Stampede and just track my emotions. But, yeah.
Well, one thing I thought was Adam Sandler's last good movie, which is still bombed and people panned it, which was Pixels.
Oh, I liked that.
I loved Pixels. But what I really liked about it
which one?
It's called Pixels.
The one with the big Pac-Man.
It's all about video games.
I don't know.
It's
very
worth a watch,
Tron-ish.
Jack. Yeah. It's worth a watch. But what I liked about it is because it's something I hadn't really thought of until he pointed it out, is how like our generation, especially the Jack's generation too, they grew up playing video games that you learned patterns, and you learned how to beat it based on timing and based on all these other things like that. Whereas everything today is free play. So it's just like, like you can wander wherever you want, but there's no skill to it. You're just basically like living a story, which is fun, but like there's no, it was a true skill to learn in the 80s and early 90s. I was like, and I liked that he made that point. I was like, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, because everything was a pattern. I mean, I was addicted to a game called Berserk, and you had to. It was that little bouncing. I was like, that was my game, and then you have to get to a certain thing where you knew the robot was going to be there as soon as you popped on the screen, so you had to point right away.
Did you have like a video game nickname? Were you like the Berserker Kid, Berserker Jack?
No, I just Jack.
Berserky Jackie. Jackie. Okay.
I wasn't cool enough for a.
Nick, what is do you have a PlayStation handle that you go by? Is there like a video game name?
Happy anniversary of meeting.
I don't play the online stuff. So that was something I briefly touched on too. Like with the PS3, it was still free to play on the PlayStation Network. But then when Xbox started charging, PlayStation jumped on that and said, now we're going to charge, whatever a month to be on the network. And I was like, well, fuck that shit. Because I don't play video games enough to justify that expense to pay for a subscription.
And you're cheap.
And I'm cheap, yeah. And I'd rather just play the first player, standalone stuff anyway.
I've been living vicariously through my brother. So he has a game system. I think he's got the PlayStation is what he has. And I go over there and we play. We play a lot of Rocket League. So car soccer. So I go by Jedi Cancer. So if anybody's out there on the Rocket League,
Jedi Cancer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that the sign cancer or the disease?
No, it's like the disease. Like if you imagine Jedi like having a force cancer that eats away at them. So because that's what video games are to me.
It makes me think of you're like a Sith and you're gonna kill Jedi. You're Jedi cancer.
I had Chris on
hold on. Matt, are you okay, dude?
Yeah, no, I just video games are addicting, man. Like,
yeah, they are.
It's a thing. It's hard to put down. You know, it's
It really
like
is.
cancer.
Yeah, like
So, I'm just out
recommend-
here trying to be a Jedi, and it's like, like it gets attached to you. It's like part of you. Sorry,
I'm
muscle
a
memory.
Jedi.
Yeah, I bought a game I don't know a week or two ago called Deliver Us the Moon, which
You mentioned
took me 6 hours to beat, but it was fun. It's kind of like the old story type games to where you're just a single person, and if you like puzzles and you like figuring out how the story goes, that's what this kind of game is. And so basically, the Earth gets all of
You
its
like puzzles?
no, like
You like movies about gladiators?
it's like a much easier version of Myst,
Okay.
And
Mhm.
because it took me 5-6 hours to beat it, and I
Now,
enjoyed it.
once you beat a game, do you just say, "Okay, that's it"? And you
No,
lock
it
it up?
depends on how much I like it. Like I was saying to Chris last week, or week before last, Red Faction, which is on PS2, I've probably beaten that game 6 or 7 times.
Mhm.
It's like a book.
Yeah, it's like a book.
You like to relive. You like to relive that, or a movie in that way.
Well, if you guys, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game
Mhm.
is probably one of the most addicting games if you're a Star Wars fan, because you get to like go. It was like the first game that you could like impact the story by how the decisions you made to agree with like light or dark side, and you could build your own lightsaber and shit. That was nerd heaven when it came out.
Well, what I like about playing Doom again is that this game came out in '93, and so you didn't have much memory that you could put on so many floppy disks at the time. So you can beat most levels in 5 minutes. If you're just running straight through it, you can do it. But if you're someone like me who wants to get every little hidden room and all that stuff, it takes you about 12 minutes to beat each level. So it's still you can get through the game pretty quick. I was like, and as a kid, that's perfect.
Yeah,
I know Jay bought me. If you've been to his house, he has those arcade
His
games
lair.
now.
Yeah.
And I have the one that he bought me the one that has Asteroid Centipede and all these other things. The only one I only play 99% of the time is Centipede.
It's fun.
I don't
Oh.
play Asteroids. I could never get into it. The stupid ship never went the way I wanted it to go.
yeah.
But there's other games on there. It's like
I was addicted to playing The Empire Strikes Back when I was there. It was like
the old one, yeah.
the 80s arcade. I hadn't played that ever, and then
I like
it
it.
was
I like
discovering
it.
like a new. It was like
Yeah.
discovering something new from the 80s. Like you're like, I don't ever remember playing this, and just going through.
They
the
had
levels.
that at Comic-Con, that thing before they officially released it. I remember Jay and I just looking at it going like, "Oh my god, I want this so bad," because it was the old ones. And Jay actually bought it.
Yeah.
I would like to buy it, but
The other game that just dropped recently, and I got a chance to play with my brother, is the PGA Tour. I don't know, whatever the newest one is, 22. So I like playing golf. It's kind of like relaxing,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
real golf sucks. It's frustrating.
The bar that I used to work at in college, we had golden tees. The only thing we would always keep in there because golden tee was so fucking fun.
I fractured my palm of my hand.
Just smacked the shit out of it.
Playing that game.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I forgot to mention that. Like this past weekend, I went to a golf simulator.
Oh, I saw a picture of you with something.
Yeah, the golf simulator. It's awesome.
Something.
I'll get to the story. But the actual simulator is really cool because you play it. It has like a laser thing that kind of like tracks the spin and progression of the ball after you hit it, and you hit it against the screen, and it's like you're playing in a digital. It's like you're playing in Golden Tee, so it's not real, but it's like video game golf course. It's like you're in Golden Tee. So you're actually using your own clubs and a ball, and you're actually physically hitting the ball, and it's like a video game essentially. It was so much fun. But my driver that I've had for like 12 years.
Was he drunk and he got lost or something?
No, my driver from as in golf club.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got confused.
Yeah. After the last 12 years, had his last swing this past weekend. As I
didn't have the old buddy. What's it, buddy? What's his Caddyshack? Buddy LaRue. Buddy. I can't remember his.
You never played Golden Tee, Matt?
But I don't know. I don't think I ever remember playing Golden Tee.
It came out on consoles later, but it was the old the one you'd have
the arcade.
The arcade
like a track ball.
Yeah, it had like a pool cue, white ball. That's all you need. You just smack the shit out of it, and you could rotate it to make the ball curve and everything. Yeah, it was a skill.
I think maybe I've played it once or twice, but there's something about playing the just the PGA Tour, like where you're getting to just kind of like go through the different courses, and you're kind of going against. I like how you're putting my own comment up here. But like
I didn't know it was
Chris,
you.
have you played? Have you? Who's this? Everyday Inventors.
I didn't look at the
some
name.
pretty funny shit on here. He should be on
Wild and wacky. Yes.
Chris, have you ever played the PGA Tour? You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, like because they have different cool courses that you get to go through, and if you're playing with someone, it's competitive. So
it's like almost like real golf.
Yeah, you can play the back nine. Well, there was one that we played on an earlier version where it was a volcano level, or it was like a treasure island.
I know mine. My arms are too short.
What's my handicap? I have no idea. I've never had it.
It's a Bob Newhart joke.
I'm terrible at golf. I'm bad enough at golf where I have not calculated my handicap.
Oh yeah, bad I am at golf. I live off a golf course and don't go golf. It just takes too long.
It's a lot of fun though.
The last time I went to golf, we had that golf where you hit it. It's got like different holes out there, and it's got a computer shows you how far you've hit it, how close you are to the pin. That was fun. It took me a while to realize. Okay, stop moving your whole body and nice even swings. Took me a long time to remember.
Yeah, that's what she said.
It did, yes.
For those nice even swings.
All the hips.
Okay, have you guys ever gone to like a pumpkin patch with your kids and stuff?
I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you gone with like your nephews or how long should it take?
10 minutes.
20 minutes.
10 minutes. I'm with 10 minutes. 15.
Like, is there like a gift shop at the end?
Is there an apple orchard attached to this? Is there hay maze?
No.
In fact, the worst part is it's not even the pumpkins aren't even on the vine. They just ship them in and
they just have them sitting out there.
They just have them sitting out there, and so the worst part was we went Sunday. The Padres.
That's the worst.
Padres played the Dodgers until like 2:00 in the morning.
Don't go on a Sunday.
I was so jacked up. I mean, I was just like going. I couldn't go to sleep.
You are.
Yeah. So
I'm
so it's like
right now.
I think I finally fell asleep about 4:30, 4:45. Had to get up at 9:30 I'm like, oh my god, it's Sunday. That's my day. So we go there. I think we were there, and Jay was just as tired because he stayed up. Colleen was actually tired, but my wife and my oldest daughter were just trying to drag this day out. And I go, well, haven't we paid $30? And then Colleen wanted. She goes, we paid $30 to do the hay ride, which was just there's no hay, and there's that takes you to the pumpkin thing. There's a train that goes around. It takes forever to go around. I mean, I'm doing it for the grandkids, but I'm like, are we done yet? Are we done yet? No, we were there for like almost, I think, 4 or 5 hours.
Okay, I didn't calculate lines, but geez, 4 or 5 hours?
It was ridiculous. They had the food you could only pay cash for. They didn't have any ATMs.
Okay.
So afterwards
that's opposite of the trend right now.
Yeah. Well, we think they're.
I mean, I go to places now and they're like, we don't take cash, and I'm like, what? We don't take cash.
Exactly.
This is legal tender. This is legal tender.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't being because I said okay, I can't.
That's too long.
I can't complain.
Like a pumpkin grab should be like the same duration of time of like buying the Christmas tree. But
Yeah,
not,
there
not,
you
not
go.
even like the one like you're cutting down, like the one you just go grab and say, "Yeah, this one looks good."
Yeah,
Throw on
this is
top
good.
and then wrap it
What
up.
about this one? Okay, well, that one's all right. But
It's
what about
20
this one?
minutes in and out. To get
The funny thing though is listen to Jay
15
talk to
minutes,
his
10 minutes minimum, 20 minutes.
listen to
tops.
Jay talk to his kids, how he's handling his wife, and I go, Christ, that is me. 40 years ago or 30 years ago. I was like, he goes,
Okay,
I've turned into you.
now.
He goes, I've turned into you. I go, but on this situation, was I wrong? He goes, no. Were you? And then afterwards, they go, well, let's go get something to eat as a family. I'm like, oh, fuck this crap. And I just want to go home and rest. That's all I want to do. And then we go to Red Robin. This Red Robin, it must have taken us 30 minutes just to sit down. I mean, there were 13 of us or 12 of us. One was an infant. So, but we finally get the food. My hamburger absolutely sucked. Everyone's French fries were ice cold. It was terrible food. I didn't complain because I wanted to get out of there. The waitress was great, but everyone else was terrible.
I recently had really bad, well, not really bad, but it was just not good pizza. Like we were at the restaurant and we're all complaining about the pizza. And the guy comes up, he's like, okay, everybody doing okay here. Okay, goodbye. You know, it's like, you had to have heard us bitching about this.
Right.
Like there was no toppings, too much cheese. We didn't ask for extra cheese. And it just the consistency.
It was, in fact, under the seats when we were waiting, my daughter goes, oh, there's cockroaches there, dead ones. I go,
oh,
at least they're dead. And we're like going, should we go somewhere else? I go,
food.
It's just like, yeah. And the bathroom, don't even get me started. I go in the bathroom, I go, holy crap. I don't even want to pee in here. So I turn around and left. It was so disgusting. I said, when was the last time they had anybody clean the bathroom? So I'm thinking about tweeting something about how bad it was. And just...
I second agree with what Sherry said. Pumpkin patch, apple cider orchard takes usually about an hour. That's it. By the time you pick a pumpkin or you get some cider, you go through the place that has the fried biscuit stuff. That's it. So, in fact, I think we did that as a family like recently.
Have you seen the movie Waiting, Matt? It's Ryan.
Best.
Okay, it's one of Ryan Reynolds'
handling his
movies.
wife.
Jack did say that, and I didn't mention it. I was like,
How he's handling his wife, like you're off the handle.
I was like,
son, I gotta talk to you. I imagine that scene at Christmas Vacation where like they're trying to talk to Chevy.
Am I getting canceled? Am I getting canceled?
You might be.
All right. Good night. God bless. I'm going to get some sleep.
By Cindy. Yeah.
Well, this is your last show for a while, so
it is. Unless Matt wants to run it next week, so
I'm good.
I don't know if you can match this artwork.
What?
The dog with the glasses. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I like this week's artwork. This week's artwork doesn't bother me at all.
I went with a cat. I had a cat and a dog, and I said, the dog is cooler. The cat actually looked like it was dying, so I just said,
just for the sake of time, though, is there any emails that we need to get to? Just want to make sure that we're not.
Oh, that's a really cute shower. I think we do have one, but so I asked earlier, just a few weeks ago, Matt, if you'd seen the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds. Dude. It's one of his earlier films.
Oh, yeah, I've seen. Why didn't you ask me? I've seen that.
I saw the sequel.
Well, it's because Matt was talking about complaining about food, and so were you too, Jack. But like, there's a montage.
I was actually complaining about a restaurant.
There's a montage in the movie where it's like common things people complain about in the restaurant, and one of them you hear the manager go, "I understand, miss, that your steak was undercooked or overcooked, but did you have to eat the whole thing before you told me?" You know, it's like yes.
Dude,
anyone who's ever been a waiter, it's spot on.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it a long time ago in the 90s.
The food service industry.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best.
It's a very funny movie.
In a long time.
There's not one thing that happened in that movie that doesn't happen in an actual restaurant. Like, everything that they did in that movie, all this, the pranks, the practical jokes, that shit happens in like every restaurant. That's just how that whole industry is. It's awesome.
Not happy, huh?
So we did get one email. It's not really an email. It's just a picture of a joke.
Picture of
from
email.
From Randy.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Randy. Fun fact: Australia's biggest export is boomerangs. It also is their biggest import.
Okay.
I was waiting for it.
I was waiting for you.
Whew.
They won't let me go in the
Pretty good.
pumpkin patch next year. All right. Thank you, Randy. Is that all it took?
You blockhead.
Is that my penalty?
Achievement
You
unlocked.
That,
Yeah.
that is a favorite though. Gotta watch the Charlie Brown Halloween. It's a great pumpkin Charlie Brown. It's a good one.
What is Linus? I mean, Linus is a dumbass. You got Charlie Brown, who's just he goes for advice from Lucy. What the fuck? I mean, come on, really?
They're kids.
They're not. You get kids. They're like 60 years old now, aren't they?
It's true.
Forever youth.
They're
But
peanuts.
those Dolly Madison cakes are still fresh.
My favorite.
They used to advertise Dolly Madison.
Yeah, that's sponsored by Dolly Madison.
Yeah, and they would have.
everyone.
Then you want a cupcake? No.
Everyone always liked the Great Pumpkin Patch, but my Halloween go-to cartoon was always Garfield's Halloween Special because I loved that one. Where am I the only one who's seen it of the three of us?
No, I
No,
think we talked about it last week,
Did we talk about it?
last year.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
I mean, I know we've talked about it, or you and I have at some point.
Yeah,
But,
I love it. Yeah, it's you know, Garfield wants to go out and get candy, and he wants to take all of Odie's candy, and then they basically find an old house that's like treasures in it from like pirates, and you should watch it, Chris. You can find it pretty easily.
Is that Bill Murray Garfield?
Yeah, it is Bill Murray Garfield.
It's 80s. Yeah, it's old. Yeah.
You know, I never really got into Garfield. Randy says Abigail Adams cupcakes are better.
They
go all the way. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there is there another Halloween cartoon? I mean, there's just not a lot of them. Yeah. Little Drummer Boy.
A time traveling salesman.
It did make me a little irritable. Like I'm sure because especially Jack and me, we're pretty much old curmudgeons. A friend of mine came from California a couple weeks
I'm
ago.
always happy.
And she'd never eaten at a Cracker Barrel in her life. And I was like, you know what? We're going to go have breakfast at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, my God.
And it's not the Cracker Barrel experience. It's the fact that I walked into Cracker Barrel. It's not even freaking October yet. And they already had all the Christmas shit up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's not even a month to Halloween. And you've already got all your Christmas crap up.
They get their stuff out early. But they do have
my
good
pancakes.
They had really good pancakes.
They do. That's why I go. The only reason why I go to Cracker Barrel is for breakfast. I get their pancakes, it's bacon. You know, they got a lot of good breakfast stuff.
We were in West Virginia when we went to go see the Pirates. We stopped in West Virginia overnight. And I think, if I remember correctly, that the Cracker Barrel had served alcohol.
What?
Yeah.
I'm
that's
like
something
going,
new.
I said,
they serve alcohol now.
I go, wait, is this alcohol? And
Yeah, they serve beer.
go, yeah,
and then I think
we can serve it now.
I think
They got the little moonshine thing in the back. So it was West Virginia. So
I think that's right.
I think they even offer like mimosas or something like that. Probably. Maybe.
yeah, it was. I go, wait, this is crap.
I know they've got beer because I saw a whole billboard for it, and I was like, "What?"
You can't get cold cider anymore, but you can buy alcohol. These have the best cider, and can't get it. Don't
There's
sell
a
it.
breakfast joint that I haven't been to it yet, but apparently they sell.
Waffle House.
It's a local, like, I think, Northeast chain, but they sell flights of Bloody Marys
Oh, nice.
and flights of different types of mimosas.
Oh,
That'd
that's
be
kind of.
cool. Especially
what's a
early in
flight?
the morning if you're drunk. It's like a small selection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you like a flight of beers. You little
Yeah, okay, yeah, I
cups of
get
beers.
it.
But yeah,
That's
they
what
serve
I wanted to make
different
sure.
types of- Yeah,
Because that's the only time I drink Bloody Marys or screwdrivers is if I'm hungover as shit and it's like 5:30 or 7 in the morning and been up all night. Like, yeah, Bloody Mary hits the spot.
yeah.
My wife and I are really looking forward to the day in which our designated driver, our daughter, is of the full age where she has her license and we can go have an actual flight.
I'm just picturing like you and your wife sitting in the back of the car. She's up there. She's like, "Am I doing it right, Dad?" Like, fire.
Don't go to sleep, Dad. We know what happens when you wake up. Don't go to sleep.
I usually do. If I have any alcohol, I'm usually out then. It's sleepy time medicine for
Taking a
me.
body shut off your mouth back here.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
Keep your eyes on the road. Just keep it between the two lanes there, baby.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
What kind of a depraved mind
That's
is
actually
up
going to
with
be the episode title. Body shots off
this?
your
Off
mom.
your mom.
Body shots off your mom. Well, this took it. This went ugly.
This is fucking way wrong. That's awesome.
Now, was that Nick or
It was Nick.
Yeah, it's
That was
good.
Nick.
Good
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Good stuff,
body
guys.
shots off your mom?
Yeah. We got him at Cracker Barrel.
So Matt, you
I got you.
That's my mom.
Your
I'm
mom
gonna go on TikTok.
she stole some maple syrup.
A shot of maple and a shot of Jack. Either way, it's gonna be syrup.
Their syrup is good,
There's a special place,
but I'm
in
not
hell.
taking no shot of.
There's a special place in hell that's just designated for the four of us.
Oh no, not for the four of us, but thanks though.
I don't want to go. I guess it's too late for me. It's too late to repent, so I'm done.
Too late to repent. I'm already this far in. Might as well go the rest of the way.
I don't really care because most of the time when I meet people and they talk about stuff like that, I'm like, are you going to be there? Yeah. Well, I don't want to be there if you're going to be there. Fuck you. I want to be by myself.
Well, my wife.
I don't mean
always
it, but yeah.
She goes, "You're going to go to hell. You're going to hell." I go,
Where the fun
"Going,
people
Wow.
going,
Going.
already there. I'm already
going."
there.
Non-refundable ticket.
You mean it could get better?
See, I learned this. The first thing to do is to just not believe in hell, and then it doesn't
Right.
exist for you.
Right.
So
But you know, my luck, I would do
Yeah.
that, and I was like, "Fuck!" They told me it wasn't real. God damn it! I'm here forever.
what if you get to the end of the afterlife and you're like, you have two choices. Which do you feel like you could go to? It's like all narcissists get into heaven. They're like,
Okay,
Right.
how strict we were on the Jesus Christ, goddamn it thing? Was it a big deal? Was it? It's because I
feel like
Oh
I-
God! Don't even read that out loud.
Aaron Abigail.
Are there any more emails? Jesus Christ!
Is there?
No,
No,
that was it.
Just the boomerang one.
Oh my God!
It was a bluey.
Just
joke.
no. Just say no. Just say no. No, please. Can I have some drugs? Can I have some drugs first?
There are some people we should be thanking, and it's definitely not going to be John.
If you want to know what John said, click on our
Join
to
us
YouTube,
live.
become a subscriber, click it, and watch the last episode. And it's like the last few minutes. So there you go, and you'll find out what John said that none of us said. So John's joining us in hell.
Yeah, we always just got downgraded in hell, or upgraded, however you want to just look at it in hell.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting an aisle seat on my trip.
Imagine you.
How long
get,
does how long does it take to get there?
Well, I mean,
As long as you want.
we could get there. You never know. Then someone just looks at you and goes, you funny son of a bitch, get over here.
As long as it gets
What if hell's the actual cool place? Like,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
wow. Hell is podcasting for the rest of your life.
Hell is
Never.
for children.
You can never end the show. You can never.
Did you listen
Just
to
like-
the Ramblecast,
or-
by any chance?
That's what hell is going to be.
Maybe that's what could be what we do down there.
I
we just have
imagine hell.
We have a
for-
24-hour because we probably don't sleep. So
Yeah.
it's a 24-hour podcast to entertain
Probably.
the lost souls, right?
and everybody has to get up and go to work the next day.
It's part of it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
still have to go to work. Like that's actually that's actually
and
hell. Like it's all this
what-
shit, but you still actually have to work. That's like
Yeah.
the worst part about it.
But your
And you
your
just have
job
to go
though,
to pumpkin patch.
your job, you got to go down on Nancy Reagan.
Fuck
So at that point, we'd like to go ahead and thank Richard Nixon, the Detroit Tigers, and I'm just. You had.
There are patrons. Nancy Reagan was our patron. Well, we like to thank all our patrons. If you want to become a
The
patron,
OG patron.
The what?
The OG patron.
The OG. She didn't give money. Let's see.
But she gave a lot.
She gave
and a lot.
This is not a great setup for our patrons. Like I think our
I
patrons are like,
I can't
can we
remember
just
the saying.
be like 5 minutes away from this conversation? Like just like creeping
Anyway,
a little.
it's funny how Nancy Reagan keeps coming up week after week after week.
Well,
after week.
you know, that's why we have a chat. So
you don't forget it. You don't forget a mouth like that,
dude. Once your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, it's like damn right. It's
you know, I know how to end the show real quick. Hey Nick, I recently got the Van Gogh Lego set.
Oh
you know?
And this time we're gonna thank the 5 patrons. We thank them all, but Tack from Paris, Eckhart Rigner, Glaffler, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the plan, and Ed, the poopy letter carrier. And congratulations to our Padres. 4 more games, Chris Dorn. 4 more games. That's all we got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, tell a friend, all the fun stuff. Bye.
See ya.